What's up everyone, 9th Jim here, back with another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video. Today we're talking about Noivern. This Pokemon's pretty cool. It has solid typing, it has solid stats, and also a solid move pool. Pretty deep with a lot of really good support moves, as well as some good stab special attacking moves, which is what we kind of focus on for attacking. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about it. So flying dragon typing is pretty solid. We have 1 immunity being ground, 3 weaknesses being rock, dragon, fairy, and then 5 resistances being fire, water, grass, fighting, bug. And then 1 4 times weakness is ice. So 4 weaknesses really, but 1 is like ice. It's 4 times. Although we're pretty frail naturally, so all of the weak attacks are going to knock us to our focus sash pretty much anyway. Unless it's like chip, like very non-damaging moves, but they'll probably just like 2-shot us regardless of focus sash or not. So this Pokemon is pretty much just always going to get 2-shotted, so you don't have to worry about too much like as far as defense goes. But for our stats, we'll go ahead and talk about it. So 85 HP, 80 defense, and 80 special defense. It's not inherently very frail. It's just not very, it's not good enough for us to focus on to be bulky, because of all the weaknesses. They're just gonna like knock us to our focus sash or just knock us out, like OHKO us. So we're just going with focus sash and then really honing in on speed and special attack. Speaking of those, we do have 97 special attack and 123 speed. Overall, very good. It's a very, very fast Pokemon. We hit 192 with all of our increases. We're very solid on the speed tier, although we do have that really pesky big dragon, Dragapult, that everybody is playing right now that is really fast. It's faster than us and does also provide OHKOs against us. However, with Focus Sash, we can also OHKO them in return and then potentially just kill it, because they're usually running something like Life Orb, or typically Life Orb, sometimes Weakness Policy, and sometimes Focus Sash. So yeah, we should have a pretty good matchup against Dragapult actually, which is cool because that's like what we were thinking was the worst matchup, which is pretty cool. Anyway, that's about it for our overview. We'll go ahead and talk about our build itself. So as far as our build goes, we are running the ability Frisk. I think it's a really good ability. Just like Frisk, giving you the knowledge of what both opposing Pokemon are holding. It's pretty solid. We see that on Dusclops being really good, and since Dusclops is such a good support Pokemon, seeing ability Frisk being powerful on that Pokemon, of course it makes sense for it to be powerful in this Pokemon as well. Next we have our item. We're running Focus Sash. Like I was saying, we're not very bulky, so we're just running Focus Sash, might as well. Most things will 2-shot us, and all super effective attacks would OHKO us, so we might as well just go ahead and make everything 2-shot us. Why not? Next for our moves, we have Draco Meteor, Tailwind, Screech, and Taunt. 3 support moves and 1 powerful attack. We have Draco Meteor. We have a very solid special attack stat, and then Max investing in that as well, making Draco Meteor really, really powerful when we actually use it. A lot of the time, this Pokemon is going to die before you really get to attack, when you're setting up Tailwind or Screech to take big knockouts, or taunting something like a Trick Room setter, or, just a setup Pokemon in general, maybe like Milotic, Togekiss, Slurpuff, a lot of Pokemon that just use a few supportive attacks and then 1 actual attack, and Dusclops being an amazing taunt Pokemon. I keep talking about Dusclops. I like that Pokemon. So yeah, I think all these moves are pretty solid. We have Draco Meteor for damage, Tailwind to make our Pokemon very fast, Screech to make our Pokemon do more damage. If you don't know what Screech does, it -2's defense, which is really good. We saw Fake Tears being very, very prevalent in this meta with all of our special attack powerful Pokemon, things like Inteleon, Duraludon, Togekiss, all of these powerful Pokemon. However, this Pokemon gets Screech, which is the same but for defense instead of special defense, making you just take huge key knockouts, which is really cool. And in my damage calcs, I do have a couple of Screech knockouts that are really, really powerful. Things with Excadrill and Tyranitar, Pokemon that do a lot of damage, but when your opponent's -2 or you're +2, you're just steamrolling everything. And you'll see, like, we're able to take out big Dynamax Pokemon, really strong Pokemon, things that shouldn't be able to just die from 1 attack, and it's pretty cool. So Screech is awesome. And then we also have Taunt, like I said, just stopping those setup Pokemon, which is really good. We do offer another good, a couple of good Pokemon attacks, good attacks other than those. So if you want to use something like, a powerful special attacking stab move for flying, or just a couple of good coverage moves, we do have some over there on the right. We have Hurricane, Air Slash, Heat Wave, and Brick Break. Brick Break just being a utility move, especially against things like Lapras right now, and a lot of just good screen setters like Grim Snarl and stuff like that. Brick Break is a good option. And then Hurricane and Air Slash are both really good stab flying type moves. Special attack stab moves. I prefer Air Slash just because I like to be accurate. However, if you're running a rain team, Hurricane's a really good option. And Hurricane just does a lot of damage, and if you value that damage over accuracy, you can go with Hurricane. But Air Slash is really good. We're also super fast, so that Air Slash is good for hitting flinches, because we'll attack before a lot of Pokemon, so you can get that chance of Air Slash flinching, which is really good. And then we have Heat Wave just for coverage, just being able to cover that fire typing, which is pretty solid. Next, we have our stats. Our investments are max 252 into special attack and 252 into speed, being timid nature, giving us that plus speed minus attack because we don't use it anyway. We just want to be as fast as possible, hitting 192. We outspeed a lot of really good Pokemon, however, like things like Scarf, Chlorophyll, Swift Swim, Unburdened Pokemon. Some Pokemon that are just naturally insanely fast, like that Dragapult, that scary Dragapult, are able to outspeed us even though we're 192, which is very, very fast. And then special attack 252, just so we can hit as hard as possible with Draco Meteor. Like I said, we're pretty frail. We can put that into HP, but then we wouldn't really need Focus Sash for like a lot of the attacks. But then things that would like ice type attacks that are 4 times effective would still OHKO us. So I just see Focus Sash and then make our Draco Meteor as strong as possible. I think that's the best option. Next, we have our synergetic Pokemon. First off, I have Excadrill, Tyranitar. Excadrill, mainly, you don't even have to run Tyranitar on the same team. However, it just makes that Excadrill even more scary, more oppressive of a threat. Your team can be insanely fast. You have Noivern, Excadrill, or like Noivern, Tyranitar switch into Excadrill, and just like start damaging really, really fast and really strong. Right off the bat, which is a really good option. Excadrill also covers all of Noivern's weaknesses, just about, destroying fairies, ice, all of these Pokemon. It's just really, really powerful, and it's really good. And rock Pokemon, like everything, it kind of just destroys everything that Noivern is scared of, which is really good. And then we also have Tyranitar just to make it faster. Excadrill also doesn't really like Trick Room because it's so fast, so Taunt helps us kind of mitigate that a little bit with Noivern. Next, we have our one scary Pokemon, the Dragapult. I already pretty much touched on this. It's just faster. Draco Meteor just knocks us out, or Dragon Claw, or Max Phantasm. Like anything will actually just knock us out like immediately because Dragapult is just so powerful and stuff, and we can't really screech it. So that kind of sucks. Like it's just a bad matchup. But in our damage calcs, like you'll see that our Draco Meteor does kill a non-Dynamaxed Dragapult guaranteed. So that's really cool. Next, we have our speed tiers. We'll go ahead and talk about those. So, speed tiers, we are here at 192, right about the middle. Very strong. It's a very solid. 192 is very good. We outspeed a lot of really good Pokemon, things like Inteleon, Cinderace, Tyranitar, no matter what, even if it's Scarfed. Obviously, Inteleon or Cinderace would outspeed a Scarfed, but they're typically not Scarfed. And then we have Whimsicott and Durant. A lot of really, really good Pokemon, really strong Pokemon that we do outspeed initially, which is really good, and allows us to really kind of swing the momentum in our favor. We can set up Tailwind really quickly. Obviously, like against things like Whimsicott that activate their Tailwind first, that might not happen. It might not be super reliable, but because of Sash, then we're able to get up a really good support attack and then potentially attack again as well, which is really good. Things that do outspeed us, like I said, most Scarf Pokemon will be outspeeding us. Things like Butterfree, Scarf, Dragapult, or Dracovish, Vanillix, Form Change Rotom, Galarian Darmanitan, Hydreigon, Chandelure. A lot of really good Scarf Pokemon are going to be outspeeding us, and that's just how it works. That's what Scarf does, really. It just makes things really fast. Things like that Dracovish that are commonly Scarfed will be outspeeding us. And like I talked about, Dragapult will just always be outspeeding us because it's insane speed. It hits 213 with max speed, and that's just absurd. Like that's stupidly fast without anything like Scarf or any of crazy abilities. Other things that do outspeed us are like the Chlorophyll Pokemon, Swift Swim, Unburden, all the things that make Pokemon like insanely fast. Things like Venusaur and like Barraskewda, Holucha, all these crazy fast Pokemon, they're going to be outspeeding us, and there's just nothing we can do about that. So yeah, that's going to be it for our speed tiers. We'll go ahead and talk about our damage calcs. So first off, we have Max Hailstorm from a Lapras. This should not come as a surprise that it does destroy us, completely obliterates us, hits 231 to 275. However, it doesn't activate. This is max Resonance, not max Hailstorm, so it doesn't activate Hail, so we won't just die to the ticks at the end, which is pretty cool, unless it's like Lapras, he brings out Tyranitar, that would just kill us, but oh well. Next, we have Dragapult Dragonclaw into Noivern. This shouldn't come as a surprise either that it OHKOs. Also, if it Dynamaxes, it will obviously OHKO. And if it Dynamaxes, then we're not in a great position because we won't be able to return OHKO. But if it doesn't Dynamax, then we do have a guaranteed OHKO with Draco Meteor hitting 140 to 165%. That's really, really good. Although, like I said, Dragapult's typically going to be Dynamaxing, so we don't have a great matchup against that since we'll only do 75% damage, but that plus like a Dazzling Gleam from something like a Togekiss will be able to take the OHKO or the one-turn knockout instead of the one-hit knockout, but it'll still be really good and could potentially swing it in your favor completely, being able to knock out that Dragapult, that Dynamax, and then you have your Dynamax for the rest of the game while they don't. That could be another great option. Next, we have a couple of Calcs with our Screech on Excadrill. So Excadrill, even after Intimidated, if you Screech your opponent's Incineroar, even -1, so essentially you're at +1 because you're -1 and they're at -2. Obviously, it's not the exact same as +1 because then after the Screech would be really good, but still, like, essentially it's +1 damage. So you're at -1, they're at -2. You're still being able to OHKO, take a guaranteed OHKO with non-Dynamax Excadrill high horsepower. That's really, really powerful. That means you don't even have to use your Dynamax, and you're still able to OHKO Incineroar, which is really, really good. Getting rid of that so they can only get the one Intimidate at the beginning of the game, and it doesn't even matter to your Noivern if you led Noivern Excadrill. You're just in the same position against an Incineroar, you just kill it. Next, we have Excadrill Max Rockfall into Togekiss, a very, very defensive Togekiss, mind you. 236 HP and 196 defense plus, so it's bold. So it's very, very defensive. Not Dynamax, however, but still Max Rockfall into a Screeched Togekiss does guaranteed OHKO, a non-Dynamaxed Togekiss. So hitting 136 to 162% guaranteed OHKO, and this is also really important because we get to dodge the Babbery Berry entirely. We get to just use Rockfall into it, so we don't have to use Iron Head, and then we're able to kill it. And then it also sets your own Sand, so if you're running Sand Rush, like, you're able to just kill everything like super, super fast, which is really cool. Next, we have Dynamax Max Steel Spike from an Excadrill into a defensive Tyranitar. And by defensive, I just mean max HP, but it's also Screech. So Screeched Dynamaxed max HP Tyranitar still falls guaranteed OHKO to our Max Steel Spike from Excadrill. This is like really, really good, actually. Being able to hit that 111 to 131% guaranteed OHKO, we're able to dodge that weakness policy and just bypass right through their Dynamax, and we're in a really good position when that happens. So that's really cool. That's a couple of examples of how powerful Screech can be. So next we have our last thing, which is Single Spotlight here. So the cool thing about Noivern is it does learn Defog, so we're able to use Defog and Heavy Duty Boots to be able to get through any kind of hazard, which is really good. Heavy Duty Boots making it so that you don't take any damage to hazards, or you're just completely unaffected by them entirely. So like things like Sticky Web can just, you're not even affected by that, which is really good. And then we're able to set up a Defog really quickly, or even Taunt like a Setter, any kind of setup Pokemon, and then be able to deal with huge damage with Hurricane and Draco Meteor. And like I said, you can change those out. We have Dragon Pulse and Air Slash as well if you don't really want to use those moves. But this Pokemon can definitely pivot. It also does have access to U-Turn, so you could use U-Turn over any of those, so you can have a Pokemon come in and then defog and then be able to switch out and pivot really, really nicely and be able to pivot while also getting rid of hazards. This Pokemon can be really, really just valuable on a singles team, being able to get rid of those hazards. A lot of Pokemon that like hate hazards, things like Darmanitan and I don't have too many examples, but Pokemon that hate hazards would really like a Pokemon like this on your team. There's obviously a lot of other Pokemon that can do that. Things like Chandelure, things like Cinderace and Mandibuzz. Like, there's a lot of Pokemon that can do that. However, it can do that, which is really cool. That's about it for our build. Other than that, it's the exact same with it, just 252 into special attack and speed, and then plus for timid, just giving us the maximum speed we have. So yeah, that's about it for our single spotlight, and that's about it for the video entirely. Thank you so much for watching. If you like Noivern, like and subscribe. If you like Ninth Gym, like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching, and comment down below if you want to see any guides or Pokemon or teams to build around in future videos. I'm always down to user submission, any kind of thing. So if you want to comment down below, definitely do that. No matter what, just comment if you want to say anything. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good evening and stay safe. Goodbye.